and welcome back to my channel. Today, like many days, finds me spending quite a bit of time in the kitchen. So today I'm going to take you along with me as I put away some things, as I prepare a few things, and as I just talk to you about some life things. So this morning I decided to make some colloidal oats for my daughter's bath. This can be something that can be healing and helpful for skin, so that's what I'm hoping for today. Good morning, welcome back to Vlogmas. This is officially day, 17 I think. Today is Saturday and actually we don't have any concrete plans today. So we've gotten up, we've had breakfast, I'm dressed, and I have two goals for the morning. One of them is to make a pie crust. Tomorrow is my father-in-law's birthday and I am making an awesome pie for him. And the second thing I wanted to do was to give Andy an oatmeal bath. Unfortunately, both of my children have inherited my sensitive skin. We have had, ongoing bouts of eczema and dry patches and dermatitis. And even now, in my adult life, I still deal with some of that. So unfortunately they got that from me, but Andy has been dealing with a lot of redness on her face. And so this morning I made some colloidal oats, which is basically just like oat flour. You just pulse it up and then you use that in the bath. So I poured some in the water, but then I also made a paste to like put on her face. So she is in the bath now. I'm wearing the exact same outfit as yesterday because I didn't wear it for very long. I went to the tea party and I had on a dress, which I don't even think I showed you, but I had on a dress for the tea party. I'll put like a little insert of it here. I got to hold my nephew and he fell asleep on me, and it was just, I could have stayed like that all day long. I love a baby asleep on my chest. It's just perfection. So yeah, we had avocado toast for breakfast and I made hot chocolate, so I got that put away. Yeah, the main goals for today are to make that pie. We may be going and doing something this evening, I'm not sure yet. I haven't mailed out my Christmas cards because I don't actually know where I stuck all my addresses in the move. So I guess I'll do some looking around today to see if I can find those. But honestly, it's just gonna be a pretty chill, lazy Christmas Saturday. So, can't complain about that. I sat down during breakfast and I did my Advent reading. Sometimes I can be kind of bad to replace my Bible time with phone time, and it never goes well, as I'm sure you may have experienced. So I'd gotten behind on my Proverbs reading that we're doing with church. So it's a proverb for each day. So I read Proverbs 16, and then I read our little Advent verse for the day, those little cards. And then I found one of those Advent devotionals that's the John Piper one. We had gotten them for church a couple years in a row, a couple different ones. So I read today's excerpt as well. I think Advent can be a hard time to like implement daily like scripture reading and devotional time if you're not already very disciplined to do it. And then you get behind sometimes and then it feels like I gotta catch up. And for me, I got behind on the Proverbs and I just thought, you know what, like I'll catch up if I can, but like I'm several days behind at this point. I'm just gonna read today's, and I know that I missed some things before it, but it doesn't make today's not count. So today I just read Proverbs 16, and then if I have some time or if I want to, I'll go back and read the other ones, but I'm not gonna do this. I have to catch up and do days, 12 through 16 or whatever. I'm just gonna read 16. Every time that I have ever made this pie, I use a frozen pie crust, but I decided that I would try to fancy things up a little bit and go with a homemade pie crust. I like that. Very good, buddy. I will have to say, I found the process of actually making the pie dough and rolling it out and putting it in my pan, all of that felt very relaxing to me. Why? And somewhere along the way, my body made me stop being productive. being productive in the way that we think of being productive. And my body said, you need to take care of me. I've been dealing with some tension in my neck and my shoulders, and I've been dealing with some back pain. And as I sort of mentioned in that video where I was talking about how I treat a cold, I really prefer active methods. I prefer steps of action versus just a quick fix. I've just found that these things work well for me. So when I have a muscle that is hurting, or I feel like I am on the way to getting a pinched nerve, for me, the way to work it out is active. It's not just taking medicine. It is actually treating those problem areas. This foam roller was a yard sale find years ago, and it is still one of my favorite things. It is amazing to me how much work you can do just by using your own body weight. I really need to get back to doing this more and want to get back to doing this more because it just helps me to feel better. All right, so back to pie making. So finally the dough had been chilled for an hour and I got it all rolled out and put it in my pan. I tried a few different types of edges, things that I had seen online, but I ended up just going with a basic crimped edge. And I don't ever do this, and I don't have pie weights, so I just lined my pan with foil and filled it with uncooked rice. All right, so now that the crust is in the oven, it was time for me to make my chocolate layer. So this pie has like a chocolate pudding layer, and then on top of that, it has your German chocolate layer. And sometimes even our best laid plans go awry. So the chocolate layer has sugar and cornstarch in it and milk, and all of that's scorched on the bottom of my pan. So I pulled that mixture out and added the things to it that it needed. The eggs, I tempered those and then added the chocolate. And I wanted to see, can I save this? Does it taste burnt? You just don't want to serve people burnt food. All right, so the chocolate layer was complete. I didn't think that it tasted burnt, so I went ahead and made the topping that goes on top of the pudding layer. So this is the pecans and the coconut, and it's got evaporated milk. I have made this pie many times before, but again, never with a homemade pie crust. So I'll kind of talk about at the end how that went. All right, well, the pie is finished. I kept a little of that pudding, like chocolate layer to the side so Brandon could try it when he got home. I did not give him any like heads up, that I burned it. Sorry if you hear the dogs barking. This is something we're dealing with, and but anyway, I let Brandon try the chocolate layer. Didn't give him any hints, that I had scorched the bottom of the pan. And after he tried it, he was, he said it tasted fine. I said, so it doesn't taste burnt? He said no. So I didn't think it tasted burnt either. The kids both said that it did, but I think they just said that because I gave them like a heads up and they already knew. Plus it like smelled like that in the room at that time. So anyway, we are headed to a Christmas concert. We'll get there for the last half of it, and they're serving dinner there as well, which is great because my cooking threshold is about wiped out after that pie. I really do love like the end result of it, and it's a very luxurious pie, but it's just a lot of steps. So we're gonna head out now. I'm wearing my blazer. This has just become like my new personality. This blazer is just my personality now. Okay, so the funny thing is, this video was going to be all about how this pie recipe is delicious and it's the best thing and it's so hard to make, but it's so worth it. And actually my pie really flopped, you guys. The crust went fine, and then somewhere along the way, I don't know whether it was because I doubled the chocolate layer or because maybe I pulled it off of the heat so soon because it was scorching and it didn't get to thicken like it should. I'm not sure the culprit, but it was really more like soup. It did not set up at all. I don't even have a picture or video to show you, but it was pretty sad. So sometimes life doesn't go the way we want it to. So anyway, that's all for today. If you do decide you want to make this pie, just know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of steps, but I've had success making it with a single batch of the chocolate layer in a frozen pie crust. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for coming along with me today, and I will be talking to you next time.